Welcome to my channel, Children of the Night. I am super weird. Anyway, hi, welcome to my channel. I'm sitting in my living room. It's super dark in here and it's perfect for the kind of experience I'm about to share. Now, first of all, I'm glad you're here. Happy weekend. And tonight I'm going to talk about my grandfather's real paranormal experience. Now, I have made this video before. Well, it was not my video, but I talked about this. And that video went viral. It got 6 views online. Okay, I guess most of them were mine, but anyway, I decided to share it in person with you, virtually. So, my grandfather was a highly decorated officer in the army, as are most of the family members from my dad's side of the family. So, after he was decommissioned from the army, he was allotted a civilian job by the government of India in Delhi. And Delhi of the 1960s was very different from the Delhi we see today. It was sparsely populated, and there were lots more forest areas, trees and whatnot. So his office was in a place called Central Secretariat, and his house was in a place called Safdarjung Enclave. Now, the distance between his office to home was 10 kilometers, and my grandfather used to love walking. So this distance was easy for him. It was a piece of cake. And to keep up with his army routine and exercise, he used to walk everywhere. I think that's also a big reason as to why our elders were way more fit than we were, because they used to love walking. They used to move so much more than we do. Okay, getting back to the story. So he used to take a shortcut home from a place called Factory Road. And before that, he used to stop by at INA Market and buy fruits and vegetables and fish for the house. These places are still there today, and Factory Road, nobody knows how it got its name. He used to take a shortcut from there. And this was a place during Second World War where the Americans abandoned this place, okay? So it's full of long hutments which have asbestos roof. And during the daytime, a few offices would function there, but after hours, it was very deserted and lonely. Nobody would be there. But people used to take shortcuts from there occasionally, as did my grandfather. So I grew up listening to this incident. I heard it so many times when we used to move back here from my aunts, from my dad. So I'm getting right into it. Delhi's winter was very harsh and cold back in the day, and it was on a winter's night where this transpired. So he was heading back home from office, and he stopped by an INA Market and he bought fishes for my grandma to prepare. My grandma was an amazing cook, by the way. So he was carrying a cloth handbag and he was walking back home with those 2 fishes in the cloth handbag. And it was super duper cold, it was foggy, and there was not a single soul on the road other than my grandfather. All of a sudden, he sees there is a gigantic dog walking 15 kilometers ahead of him. Now, he doesn't know where the dog came from, and he was really puzzled because he was wondering, what on earth is this dog doing here? There's not a single household in sight. Okay? And he kept walking, and this is when things started getting weird. As he was walking, he used to walk fast, he's walking back home fast. The distance between him and the dog just kept increasing. No matter how fast my grandfather was walking, the distance seemed to be growing further apart between him and this giant of a beast black dog. He found that very hard because that's unlikely to happen. And he also started feeling really heavy, and his feet were dragging now, which was really odd. So he keeps walking, and then this dog just vanishes. Okay, it's not there anymore. He looks up and it's just not there anymore. So as he's walking, after a while, he hears paws walking on the stone pavement road behind him. So he looks back, and lo and behold, it's this black dog walking behind him. Except when he looked into the dog's eyes, he saw glowing embers. You know where the eyes are supposed to be? There were literal flames there, like there were glowing embers, and the tongue was just hanging out, salivating. I know dogs obviously have their tongues out, salivating at times, but this was abnormally large. And he found it really, really weird and creepy. And he knew something, this is definitely anything but a dog. It is some entity that has taken on the form of a dog. And he was a man of faith. So he began to chant out loudly the prayer of the Lord Shiva. This mantra is called Mahamrityunjay mantra. It's very well known. You can Google it if you want. And so he started chanting this, and he really hastened up now. And as he got nearer to the house, there were a few people there, and it dawned on him that nobody else can see this beast following him. It's just visible to my grandfather. As he neared the the courtyard of our house, he didn't take the cloth handbag inside. He left it outside because he knew better than to consume that food. He just left it outside, and the dog vanished. And he told my grandmother, he called out to my grandmom to come out with holy water. Okay, and he sprinkled the holy water all over him, and he said he'll explain it to her later. She definitely knew something's up. And he went back, he did cleansing, did the necessary rituals, and next day was another new day for my grandpa. He had a soldier spirit, and he never saw this dog again. He believes that, actually, a lot of Hindus believe that food is a life source of energy. It does attract entities. If you're coming back at night, post evening, you don't know what could follow you home, and we know better than to consume that food. I still follow this. I remember I grew up listening to this. I don't eat meat or anything. I'm a vegetarian. Not that you needed to know that, but I'm just telling you that I do cook chicken for my pets, but I make sure that I order it. I'm not going to be walking around with chicken at night because you really don't know what's going to be attracted to that food. So this actually did happen with my grandfather, and he has had many, many paranormal experiences during his time in the army. I will discuss that with you soon, but this was really creepy. And I have heard of similar instances across Southeast Asia. And I actually read in this book by Brad Steiger. He was a prolific writer on the paranormal. He has written other genres as well, but he wrote that in case, suppose you're walking by a graveyard and you start feeling really scared, just start humming your favorite song. Change your energy up immediately, because if you don't, the more scared you are, the more these things get attracted to you, and you don't want that. So it's so important to call upon your faith, have some spiritual practice, and if you don't, just start humming your favorite song. Change up your frequency on the inside so you're always at a good place and you don't feel scared. I was just wondering, if I was walking by a graveyard and I started feeling scared, and if I started humming my favorite song, I would scare myself. I'm not really, but I guess it's better than being scared to death. Like I said, my grandfather didn't stop walking because, I don't know if I said that, but yeah, he didn't stop walking because he didn't want this entity to overpower him or to think that he has given in to this thing. Because I'm not saying if, I believe my grandfather, okay? I have heard of these instances happen, and people just end up having a heart attack because they're so scared. So it's really important to be conscious about what you're doing, why you're doing it, and where you are. Just be alert of your surroundings. So if you like this video, do subscribe to my channel. I would highly appreciate that. And I hope you guys stay safe and blessed, and don't dabble into the unknown. If knowledge is good, but to practice something without full knowledge is just a recipe for disaster. And I'm talking about Ouija board, call it whatever. Now, this reminds me of something interesting. My mom's cousins, they used to play, they didn't call it Ouija board, but they used to call it planchette. And they used to make the planchette using a beetle leaf. Okay, a beetle leaf. They used to make it with that. I was really small when I was visiting India on my vacations. That's when I happened to meet one of my mom's cousins, and they used to share that with me. Now, it is really interesting, no doubt, but I never practice it. I don't want any entity to follow me home or to cause any harm to my loved ones or people around, because that will be for another story time. Something like this word vomit did happen with me in this very apartment. This is an apartment we are renting out right now, and it was really creepy when we moved here. It's going to be almost 3 years, and now it's okay. It's not that creepy anymore. But I'll talk about that in another story time. I'm going to take your leave now, and I wish you all a lot of happiness. I love you for being here, and I hope you understood what I was saying and it wasn't all mumbo jumbo. Okay, till next time, stay blessed and bye.